In this last strategy video, we're going to touch on the importance of consistency. Consistency is vitally important as it prevents levels of discomfort by allowing individuals to know what to expect. Consistency in our programming and even consistency in expectations amongst staff and volunteers can be important as well. Many individuals with disabilities and many individuals without disabilities have difficulty code switching, meaning understanding and following expectations in one environment or with one person, but then struggling to adapt and adjust to expectations when switching over to another environment or with another person. Keeping these expectations and the people who set them consistent can be very impactful for individuals with disabilities. Consistency is very important, especially during times of escalation. Now, escalations can be prevented through structure, routine, communication, and all the other proactive strategies that we've discussed. As we've mentioned before, however, things happen, and once escalations begin to arise, there are a couple things to note. First, when an individual's affect ramps up, ours needs to wind down. Now that's counterintuitive and tough to do when you're actually in the situation, but when an individual's affect start to ramp, ours needs to wind down, and that's for two reasons. First of all, it gives the individual a very clear, very visual example of where they need to be. If my body remains calm and my voice remains calm, then that shows the individual that's where they need to eventually be as well. Secondly, as my affect winds down, so does my voice, and I start to talk a little bit quieter, and you have to stop what you're doing to strain a little bit to hear me, and that helps effects wind down as well. Once we have our affect in place, we need to ask the individual what he or she wants or how we can help them. Sometimes people are able to verbalize this right away, and that cuts down all the other steps. Let's figure out what the need is and see if we can meet it. It's obviously way easier and much more preferred to simply remove the aversive stimuli in question. Oftentimes, this can't be verbalized right away, however, and that's when we need to move into using choices. We talked about how important choices can be for individuals with disabilities and how it adds a level of independence and self-determination. It allows the individual to feel like they are in control of what's going on, and that's great. So we need to provide 2 or 3 acceptable choices for them at this time. These choices could be, do you want to leave to go get a drink? Do you want to take a lap around the building? Or do you want to go take a break over here? So we're still controlling the environment when we provide these choices, obviously, because all of these choices lead to taking a break and calming our bodies, but we're still allowing the individual to get to choose, which can go a long way in this situation. We also need to make sure that we're focusing on positive behavioral language and providing replacement behavior options. So, if we have a 10-year-old who is laying on the ground, for example, and he's screaming and kicking his legs and flailing his arms, then I'm going to start providing replacement behavior options for him one at a time. Keeping my verbal directions concise and concrete. So, I might start with the screaming and I'd simply say, "Can you show me a quiet voice, please?" Now, I can almost guarantee that when I say this, then the first thing I'm going to hear is even louder screaming, and that's okay. I'm going to give it about 10 seconds or so, and then try again. Can I hear a quiet voice, please? If you don't get a quiet voice right away, that's okay. Give it a little more time and then say it again. Can you show me a quiet voice? And keep providing verbal directions, concise and concrete, and pausing until you get a quiet voice. Now, these can be the cases when we do need to celebrate small successes. For example, if it's taking a while to get a quiet voice, that 10-year-old child has to stop screaming to take a breath eventually. And when that happens, it's, "Oh my goodness, great quiet voice. Thank you so much for showing me a quiet voice." That allows you to provide positive reinforcement, which is important in building rapport in that situation. But it also lets the child know exactly what you're looking for. Once you're able to get a quiet voice, then you move on to the next thing. Can I see quiet hands, please? Again, the first reaction is probably going to be even more flailing of the arms, but wait and then try again. Can I see quiet hands, please? And then move on until you've completed the cycle. Sometimes these cycles last a while, but you continue to be patient and provide concise and concrete directions with your calm demeanor. When we say concise and concrete, we mean both verbally and visually. So if you have more than one person there to help, one person can be providing the visual examples of how they need to sit, or calm hands and feet, and another person providing verbal directions. In these cases, there should still be only one person in charge of providing the verbal directions, both for the sake of consistency and also because more than one person can be overly stimulating. If you get to a point where replacement behaviors absolutely aren't clicking, you can revert to replacement activities instead. So if you tried and tried and tried and tried to get hands at your side and it doesn't work, no matter your patience, then you can try asking that individual to maybe point to their head. "Hey, where's your head? Nice! Can you point to your nose now? Very good." This can be another good way to achieve the replacement behavior, provide positive reinforcement, and build off of the momentum of compliance gained. Consistency is important, particularly during times of escalation. If we provide consistency throughout our ministries and focus on our proactive strategies, however, then these times are few and far between. Consistency and anticipation provides us with the opportunity to minister to everyone and creates a safe and welcoming environment for all.